You can see that supply has risen from, let's call it 560 to around 700. So we've actually gained some physical supply of silver. But the operative number here is we get roughly 700 million from the mines, and let's say we get 200 million from recycling. I don't think it's that high, but 900 is a lot easier number for you to work with and me than 862. Because when we start dividing, we're going to have a problem, right? So let's use 900. Okay, the same analysis. Let's go back to 05. We have mine production going up by 90 million ounces. We have, there's just the Canadian mint, 42 million. No, I didn't buy most of them, but I bought a lot of them. U.S. mint coin sales up 26 million. In fact, the month we had this one, we did something like 4.4 million, almost 4.5 million of ounces in September, which is interesting. I think the month before we might have done about 3, and a year ago was 1.8. So the demand is just exploding in here. I hope they can keep up with their blanks and sell people as much as they want. Back in 05, we hadn't even started the silver ETF. Now we have a silver ETF that consumes 100 million ounces a year, presuming they have the 100 million ounces. You know, we all wonder about that. And I still wonder about it, whether it's just a paper thing or whether the real thing is there. You must have all loved when Bob Pisani was down looking at the World Gold Council's gold in London. And, he goes in his car where they got all the windows blocked off and they take him down there. I mean, it just sounds ridiculous in the first place, right? Why can't you just be honest and let me know where I'm going? No, they got to black out all the windows. You might have been, in the bottom of somebody's restaurant or something. And, or maybe he took him to where I had my gold over there and pretended it was the GLD. And he holds up a bar. Of course, all of us sharks note the number on the bar because we know there's numbers on bars. Most people watching CNBC don't know that. But there are numbers that identify each bar. Of course, we go back to check the list of the GLD. That bar is not on the list. So we're kind of wondering. Then we have the delta in China, where they used to be exporters of 100 million, and now they're importers of 100 million. So you got a 200 million ounce change in China, which undoubtedly is growing. And we used to have, the U.S. government had 4 billion ounces of silver that they sold over 40 years, about 100 million ounces a year. That stopped around 2005. So we can identify changes of 380 million physical ounces in a 900 million ounce market that have happened in the last 5 years. And who is not getting the silver? Who's not getting it? And there are other competing vehicles. Even our own Silver Trust bought silver. There's other silver trusts and similar ETFs I haven't even put in here. So where's this silver coming from? And it just begs the physical question. I don't know where it's coming from, how they do it, but sooner or later, the physical buyers are going to overwhelm the sellers. There's just no doubt about it. And I personally would love to convince some silver manufacturers that rather than mines, that rather than having their money in the bank, which serves no purpose, you have no return on it, you have to fear the bank, why not keep your money in silver? And of course, I'd be happy to buy the silver from them and then let them buy units of one or trust that it could still be in, yet recognize the sale. So we'll see how that goes. But the physicalness is screaming at you that silver has to go up. And there's other data, silver versus gold, that do that. So here's a chart of the dollar value of mint silver sales versus gold sales. And the most important thing to note is that the ratio of sales in dollars of silver to gold is now 1-to-1. This mint sells as many dollars of silver as they sell dollars of gold. The price is 50-to-1 today, the price ratio, which means they're selling 50 times more volume of silver than gold. 50 times more. And there's well, let's call it 800 million for the sake of this argument. 800 million ounces of silver, there's 80 million ounces of gold produced. So we got a ratio of 1 to 10 is the ratio you theoretically could buy them. But in the case of silver, half the silver is not available because it goes into industrial purposes. So it's really, they're available in a ratio of 1 to 5 is what's available for investment. 1 to 5 is the dollars of gold available versus the dollars of silver. But they're buying them 1 to 1. Now, how the hell can that happen? That's absolutely impossible. Sorry, I think I did that wrong. The amount of gold available in dollars is 20 times silver. 20 times silver. But they're buying it 1 to 1. Okay? They're buying it 1 to 1, and the availability in dollars is 21. And that cannot carry on. That is an impossibility. Now, the important thing I believe in silver is, where should it trade vis-a-vis gold? The historical ratio, we're talking 5,000 years of history, was 16 to 1. The in situ silver versus gold is 17.5 to 1. And the current ratio is 52 to 1. I'm ready to throw up, I think, when I look at that. But what an opportunity.